Nobody talks about the guilt of resting, the guilt of wanting time alone. As a single mom, you can feel selfish for even thinking about yourself. And that's dangerous. Because when I ignored myself for too long, it started to affect how I actually showed up as a mother. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I prioritize myself without feeling guilty and how it actually made me a better parent. And I wish someone had told me this earlier, but I've got you. That's why I'm here. I used to feel so selfish for doing things that wasn't directly for my son. I would feel guilty or selfish going to bed and closing my room door because I thought, oh, what if he needs me in the middle of the night and he can just easily come into my room without having to open the door? Or I would feel selfish for just wanting 30 minutes of alone time, or selfish for spending money and buying things for myself, even though I knew I deserved it. Have you felt selfish for resting? We're taught to be a good mother, you have to sacrifice everything for your children. They're the reason why you're here. Everything that you do is for your children. And I'm sure you guys have heard that over and over again. But what tends to happen is when you do everything for your children and do nothing for yourself, you're not a better parent for it. Your temper starts to rise just for the little things. Or you find because you're so exhausted all the time, you get irritated over simple things, you're exhausted. So how is that a good advice, if you ask me? There was a point where I realized, okay, I'm getting really upset over the little things and I'm getting really annoyed, or mommy, and I'm like, oh, just if only I could just have a minute to myself, and I would snap. And I think it got to that point where I had to realize, and one of the things that triggered it was I did ask my son one time, and I said, oh, who does mommy spend most of her money on? And he said, me. And I said, oh, what about her time? And he said, me. And I said, oh, do you think mommy have friends? And he said, yeah, you do, but you don't really see them. And I thought, oh, I'm disappearing slowly and without realizing that I was. What changed wasn't my schedule. I did not automatically have all the time in the world, but my perspective changed and I thought, okay, I'm a mother and I'm also a human being. I'm a mother, but I'm also a sister. I'm a friend. I'm like so many things to so many other people. That's when my perspective changed. So instead of asking myself, oh, how would my son feel if I went out? I started thinking, okay, well, I deserve to be happy. And so for me to be happy and for my son to be that happy mother, then I need to do this. I started reaching out more to like my family, to my brother, to my friends, and just like, oh, can you have Isaiah for 2 hours? Let me just go out and do something. Or even when I'm at home alone with Isaiah, I will say to him, okay, mommy needs 30 minutes and I'm going to set an alarm on my phone so we can both hear it when it's 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, mommy time. So I would use that 30 minutes to just make myself coffee, come on my bed and just lay down and just sip on my coffee, listening to like a podcast or audiobook or anything that did not involve doing anything for my son. That was just me time. It wasn't like easy at first because in 5 minutes of me setting a 30-minute alarm, that's when my son realizes, oh, mommy, and I had to remind him so many times, oh, remember, it's mommy's 30 minutes. So every time you come up, I'm going to reset the clock. So if you want this 30 minutes to go quickly, then you need to let mommy have the, 30 minutes me time. And it worked because he did not want me to keep resetting the time. So now when I feel, or when that thought comes to my head, oh, what you're doing is selfish, I had to remind myself, no, it's not selfish. I'm just a baby girl. Alongside being a single mother, I'm still a soft life babe. And the only way for me to achieve my soft life is to prioritize myself as well. So that's what I have to keep telling myself. Every time that thought comes in my head, I'm like, nope, soft life babe, alongside being a mother. Two things can exist at the same time. And to be honest, your children do not need you to be perfect. They just want somebody, a mother. They want you to be present. They want you to be patient. They want you to love them. They want you to nurture them. And at the same time, they want you to be happy, because my son is happier because I'm happier. And when you prioritize yourself, you kind of like teach them that it's okay to have me time, to do things for themselves that they also enjoy. Because I often hear my son say to me now, oh, mom, I'm going to take 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, what are you going to spend it on? Is that, oh, I'm just going to play a game. And I'm like, oh, of course. But you know what? Enjoy your 30 minutes, because it teaches balance. So if you've been feeling guilty lately, feeling selfish, feeling guilty for resting, for spending money on a nice outfit, or spending money on something that you really like, you're not selfish. You're a human being that deserves to enjoy themselves as well. You're definitely not here to take up space. You're here to experience life like everybody else. So when that thought comes in your head, just let it go. You're not selfish. You're a perfect mother to your children. If this resonated with you, comment balance, and I can share with you how I structure my week as a single mother without burnout. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning on the job, and I believe we can all win together. And for those that don't know me, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Essay, and I'm glad that you're here.